time, but are you set to go live right now?
It's neon night here in Barnesville. That's the theme for tonight's game. Is we got this highly sought game here between the River Pilots and the Barnesville Shamrocks. River coming in here to Barnesville 2-2, and Barnesville coming in here 2-1. Hello everybody, my name is Brady Treherne. Alongside,
I'm Brian Clark.
So here we go, we're underway here. Gavin Carter has the kickoff, goes end over end, bounces off to a pilot returner. He's going to make one man miss. Finally, he's going to get brought down at around the 30-yard. It's going to be a low line drive right down the middle of the field. It's going to be good by Spencer Bliss on the 21. He's going to get up the middle. He's got a seam. He makes one man miss. He's going to go to the distance. Spencer Bliss, 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown, Rocks. Hands off the block, makes one cut, Bowie looks back. There's two cuts, three. Finally brought down. Rocks, it looks like they're going to around, throw a bubble off the Spencer Bliss. Right block by Chase Connor. He's going to make one man miss. Bliss up the sideline, 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown, Spencer Bliss.
And another great effort from Blake. Made the first man miss. Great blocking on the screen. And just was able to turn on the jet.
Under center looks like maybe a false start. He's going to step back, throw it deep. Wants to Chase Connor. Catches it. Makes one man miss. 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Connor. Gavin Carpenter in the backfield. There'll be an up back, and he's going to motion across. Going to plow ahead, be the lead blocker for the fullback, and he walks in. Touchdown, Connor Jones. Get under center, handoff going. Wise boy, that looks explosive. Makes one man miss, two. He's up the sideline. Go blocker, that's Connor. To the 20, the 15, knocked out of bounds. At around the 15, as it looks like he got close to scoring, but they'll say he stepped out, and he did. So the Rocks getting a heavy package. They'll hand it off to Wise. 1-2 lead. Blocker stumbles into the end zone. Touchdown, Shamrocks. Big, huge sack by, that was number 84, Ethan Spangenberg. Came untouched off the edge. Back, looks, throws, fires. He's got Bliss. 1 foot, 2 foot. Then they're going to call him in and bounce, and they'll get up to around the 50, 49-yard line, and a nice pitch and catch there. Under center, no toss right behind Gavin Carpenter, and that's the Spencer Bliss. Makes a nice cut. Makes another man miss. Had him by the shoulder pad. Stays up. And he's going to dance. Tackle. Down to about the half-yard line. What a run by Spencer Bliss to pick up 18 and a half. Hannes will be under center. And he's going to turn around and hand it off to Spencer Bliss. He's going to walk in. Touchdown. In style.
Put it up, right? Against a good football team, okay? That's the potential we have, okay? We gotta be focused. We gotta drown out all the noise. Whenever we come to practice on the days off, we gotta be focused. We keep improving, fellas. We got a lot of potential. All right? Outstanding job, fellas. Yeah! 1, 2, 3, run!
Vehicle number 3, Jasmine Caldwell.
You did it.
Queen candidate number 4, Haley Swally.
They call it the BDO down on the track. They hang out there all the time.
Queen candidate number 5, Miss Emma Helmet. Queen candidate number 6, Miss Brianna Mead.
Brandy's probably not here. They were probably, I bet they went to the girl house and they're probably walking down the street. Well, I know, but if they were watching.
Queen candidate number 7, Miss Katie Rothwell.
Hey, where was you last Friday night?
I told you Saturday.
No, you did not.
I swear, I said.
You did Saturday for the party, but I thought you guys were still going out.
You asked me.
No.
You said, what are you doing tonight? I said, I don't know, probably going home. And I said, right. Well, we're going to be at the collegiate. I said, well, then we might stop by.
Oh, yeah, no, I didn't.
No, I walked in there and thought I was an idiot.
Yeah, sorry. We were for Saturday, right?
Yeah.
Oh, goodness.
Queen candidate number 8, Miss Kendall Lucas.
I don't know where you're going about. I figured they'd be here.
You didn't bring a blanket? We're gonna have a wet butt.
We figured Cody would be here.
Oh, I ain't seen it. At least you might have been watching the parade, probably.
Oh, that's true.
Oh, it's still? Yeah,
I ain't seen hiding a hammer yet.
I've seen it on Facebook or heard it somewhere. Oh, is that right?
I know, it was Saturday. Pickle.
Yeah,
Like,
pickle down there, yeah.
Gavin, walked in here looking for you. And I was like, last Friday, walked in here. Trying to figure out where he was at. And you said he was going to be up here. I was like,
Yeah, I read all about it.
And I told her, I said, I bet she did mean Saturday, and we just missed it.
yeah, I did, yeah. Melanie, stop. Oh, here, we'll move. Here, mailbox.
Queen candidate number 9, Miss Ellie Costello.
Was you going out this morning soliciting on the porch?
Yes, I tried to do that.
I see someone in a princess gown this morning.
Yeah, isn't that nice?
Hey, I remember those days.
Hey!
Hey, Ellie, woo!
Where's the black one? On his way home from work.
Oh, is that right?
He's hoping he gets here by 6 o'clock. Oh, I hope too.
Yeah, but that is
Queen candidate number 10, Miss Olivia Fisher.
Who's that? That was Bill the Golf? Oh, really?
See that one?
Oh, is that right?
Their hair's in the back row. 66.
38 years.
Well, yeah. We're all getting the whole together.
Our last candidate was Jordan Strauss. Good luck to all our homecoming candidates.
Oh, yeah. Oh, when we swept them, Nick Bishop, Scott McConnell, he told him,
It's neon night here in Barnesville. That's the theme for tonight's game. Is we got this highly sought game here between the River Pilots and the Barnesville Shamrocks. River coming in here to Barnesville 2-2, and Barnesville coming in here 2-1. Hello everybody, my name is Brady Treherne. Alongside, I'm Brian Clark. So here we go, we're underway here. Gavin Carpenter has the kickoff, goes end over end, bounces off to a pilot returner. He's going to make one man miss. Finally, he's going to get brought down at around the 30-yard line. It's going to be a low line drive right down the middle of the field. It's going to be good by Spencer Bliss number 21. He's going to get up the middle. He's got a seam. He makes one man miss. He's going to go to the distance. Spencer Bliss, 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown, Rocks. Hands off the blind, makes one cut, Bowie looks back. There's two cuts, three. Finally brought down. Rocks, it looks like they're going to turn around and throw a bubble off Spencer Bliss. Right blocked by Chase Connor. He's going to make one man miss. Bliss up the sideline, 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown, Spencer Bliss.
And another great effort from Bliss. Made the first man miss. Great blocking on the screens. And just was able to turn on the jet.
Under center looks like making a full start. He's going to step back, throw it deep. Wants to Chase Connor. Catches it. Makes one man miss. 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Connor. Gavin Carpenter in the backfield. There'll be an up back, and he's going to motion across. Going to plow ahead, be the lead blocker for the fullback, and he walks in. Touchdown, Connor Jones. Get under center, handoff going. Wise boy, that looks explosive. Makes one man miss. Two, he's up the sideline. Go blocker, that's Connor. To the 20, the 15, knocked out of bounds. At around the 15, as it looks like he got close to scoring, but they'll say he stepped out, and he did. So the Rocks getting a heavy package. They'll hand it off to Wise. 1-2. Lead blocker stumbles into the end zone. Touchdown, Shamrocks. A huge sack by, that was number 84, Ethan Spangenberg. Came untouched off the edge. Back, looks, throws, fires. He's got Bliss. 1 foot, 2 foot. Then they're going to call him in and bounce, and they'll get up to around the 50, 49-yard line, and a nice pitch and catch there. Under center, no toss right behind Gavin Carpenter, and that's the Spencer Bliss. Makes a nice cut. Makes another man miss. Had him by the shoulder pad. Stays up. And he's going to dance. Tackle. Down to about the half-yard line. What a run by Spencer Bliss to pick up 18 and a half. Hannes will be under center. And he's going to turn around and hand it off to Spencer Bliss. He's going to walk in. Touchdown. In style.
Right? Against a good football team, okay? That's the potential we have, okay? We got to be focused. We got to drown out all the noise. Whenever we come to practice on the days off, we got to be focused. We keep improving, fellas. We got a lot of potential. All right? Outstanding job, fellas. Yeah! 1, 2, 3, run!
and gentlemen, our national anthem should be followed by the Barnesville alma mater. Football, Friday night. The Seminoles are here. It's homecoming at Brady Store for the fans from Monroe Central and Barnesville.
And we're live here from Shamrock Stadium here on homecoming night here in Barnesville. My name's Brady Treherne. And we're thrilled to bring you tonight's contest between the Monroe Central Seminoles and the Barnesville Shamrocks. Barnesville coming in here with, only one loss in the season. Monroe coming in here with a 3-3 record, but they're no slouch with their quarterback, Malachi Rose Burton.
Yeah, Monroe's numbers are down a little bit, but they are still a very dangerous team, and it's going to be a tough matchup. A big rivalry game. Battle of 800.
That's right. Both schools only being 25 minutes away from each other. And, a lot of kids, you got a decision if you live in Somerton or Malaga and those places, right? Which school are you going to go to? And, that plays a part into it. And we got a kickoff here from Malachi Roseburn. Looks like an onside kick going to be fielded by, I do believe, Salvador Alvarez, number 67 there. So the Rocks will take over with good field position on the 43-yard line.
Yeah, but Salvador Alvarez starting tonight on the line. Normally a running back throughout the season, but due to needs at other places, he will be starting at left guard tonight. So be interested to see how he transitions there.
So that's what the Rocks will take over here on the 43. It'll be 1st and 10. Hannes will be under center. The Rocks will get into their traditional I formation. 2 receivers, one at the top of your screen. Hand it off to Owen Wise. Makes 1 cut, 2 cut. Makes a man miss. 3. Up the sideline. Got a block. 1 man to beat. That's Rose Burton. Puts him on the ground. And he's going to get down to around the 19. So a quick start for the Rocks.
Yeah, it doesn't start much better than that. A big hole there opened up by this new look offensive line for the Rocks. And Wise able to take advantage of it and went untouched for about 25, 30 yards there before Rose Burton was able to track him down. And that's a name we're going to be calling out a lot tonight.
Yeah. Quick stat I want to read you guys. According to the Times leader coverage, Malachi Rose Burton, Monroe Central's quarterback, has 886 passing yards on the season thus far. Just through week 8, as the Rocks will hand it off, that's the senior Connor Jones, and he's going to plow forward on a fullback dive, probably pick up 7 there, so it'll be 2nd and short here in the red zone. But yeah, Malachi Rose Burton has, he's got 886 yards passing on the season and rushing on the season, and over 1,000 yards passing on the season as well. So the Rocks will have their hands full on defense tonight, trying to manage him as Hannes will get under center, turns around, hands off to Owen Wise, will try to make a cut, makes a man miss, finally brought down by a host of Seminoles as they're able to rally to the football. So that'll bring up 3rd and about 5 here. So a big play here already.
Yeah, and even though Barnesville's without some players tonight, Monroe Central still lacking in numbers compared to the Rocks. So I think the Rocks are just going to I expect them to go up-tempo like they normally do and just try to wear down this Monroe Central defense. Because I would have to say that at least 10 out of 11 are playing both ways and probably special teams just based on number-wise.
So it'll be 3rd and 7 here as Hannes gets under center. He's going to throw a quick now route out to Spencer Bliss. Makes 1 man miss. He's got a shot at a touchdown. And there he is. Spencer Bliss, touchdown. So a quick strike here from the Rocks.
And, that's a recipe we've seen all year from the Rocks. If they have one-on-one coverage with Spencer Bliss, they're going to give him the ball, and they count on him to make 1 miss. And he was able to make the corner miss and just able to get into the end zone.
Yeah, that's one of those concepts where they probably had a run play called, and if he's playing more than 7 yards off of him, throw it to him now, and that's exactly what they did. So it'll be Gavin Carpenter on to kick the extra point, and the kick is up. Looks like it may have got tipped, but it still gets through strongly, as the Rocks will have a 7-0 lead here early in Barnesville.
Yeah, that was just a great start for the Rocks. You can't ask for a much better start than that.
And the nice thing there is, too, they ran 3 different plays, so that you usually script your first 10 or 15 plays, so you haven't really even cracked into most of the stuff you prepared all week with.
If it's like you said, and that last touchdown play was an adjustment that they made, it was going to be called a run. If so, then that was a great call there to see that the one-on-one coverage was about 8 yards off of Spencer Bliss there and get him the ball.
That's a simple situation of there's our best athlete out there, and if your best athlete's not on him, we're going to give it to him.
Yeah, I expect when Monroe's on offense to see them kind of do the same thing with Rose Burton. Trying to get him as many one-on-one situations. It's going to be tough because he's their quarterback, but still, he finds a way to make it work.
So it'll be Gavin Carpenter to kick off here with 10-6 2:13 left here in the first quarter. Tough to read these numbers down there on the far end to see who's receiving. Looks like that's number 81. That's Michael Bunning on the kick return there, a 5'7" senior from Monroe Central.
Yeah, caught it on the run. I thought he was going to be able to find a little bit of a seam, but he just got tripped up before he could really break that one for some really good yardage. But even though that happened, I mean, Monroe's still looking at decent field position to start off their first offensive possession.
So it'll be 1st and 10 at about the 32-yard line. Rose Burton will be in the pistol. He'll have trips at the bottom of your screen, one receiver at the top. Trips bunch set as Rose Burton will take the snap. And he turns around and hands it off to his tailback. Try to get a number there. Looks to be number 22. That's Landon Liddick, sophomore, 5'11" sophomore for the Seminoles. Picks up about 1. So to bring up 2nd and about 9 or 8. But I'm really curious to watch and see how the Rocks are able to manage Rose Burton's touches. Because, you know, when you get a kid this special like this, it's not trying to shut him down. It's more of let's manage him and make the other guys beat us.
Yeah, well, I'll add this after this play. But
Rose Burton will take the snap and he'll fake it to the tailback. He's going to turn around, throw it. Ball's caught! Poorly played by the Rocks DB there. That was number 82, Carton Knowlton on the catch.
Yeah, and Wise just never turned around to find the ball. It was a little underthrown, and Wise just ended up overrunning it, and the receiver made a good play to come back on it. But what I was going to add last play is this Rocks defense looking a little different also. You got Gavin Carpenter playing inside linebacker, and normally he's all along the line. So,
right.
A different kind of look we're seeing from this. So it's going to be interesting to see how these linebackers can really contain Rose Burton.
So Rocks defense line will shift as Rose Burton takes a snap. And he's going to hand it off on an inside zone play. The Seminoles are going to pick up about 3 or 4, and that was Liddick on the handoff there. As it just appears thus far, we're going to get a steady dose of Liddick and Rose Burton here tonight. I got a feeling this one might be a shootout, Brian. So it'll be 2nd and about 7 here with 7:57 left to go here in the first period. Rose Burton will take the snap, fakes it to Liddick. Tries to find his receiver, Knowlton. Pass deflected by the Rocks defensive end. That was number 33. And that is Luke Taylor, a freshman, but a good-looking freshman at that, with some good size.
He's a pretty big freshman there, and he's getting some good varsity time. I like to see that. But he's in a big spot here. I mean, he's playing at Gavin Carpenter's normal position, so it's a pretty big shoes to fill.
We'll see how some of these youngins step up here tonight. It'd be a good test for him with a good athlete like Rose Burton. He's going to take a direct snap, keep it, no intention of throwing it, makes one man miss. Carpenter on the chase, outruns him, makes another man miss, and I think he's going to have enough for the first down, so do it yourself, 13.
And the thing was, Barnesville had pretty good contain there, and they kicked him to the outside, and he was just able to make a man miss and get enough yardage to pick up the first down.
So it'll be 1st and 10 here from the 23-yard line for the Seminoles. And we'll see how Coach Ishii and his squad will choose to dial up a couple plays here as the Seminoles will be in the gun. There'll be trips at the top of your screen. Knowlton, the tailback in the backfield. Or I'm sorry, Liddick, the tailback. And he'll hand it off to Liddick. And he's going to pick up about 1, it looks like. Knowlton was the lone receiver at the bottom of your screen. It seems like Monroe Central is traveling Knowlton by himself, trying to get that one-on-one coverage with him. Which will bring up about 2nd and 9 here. A lot of yards already been gained by both offensives thus far.
Both offenses really moving the ball in their first possessions.
Seminoles will stay in the same formation as the Rocks will go double B gap with their defensive lineman, and they'll throw a little bubble pass out to, that's number 81, Michael Bunning, Nothing doing out there for the Seminoles. Couldn't get a block out there, so it'll bring up 3rd and long here within the red zone. So a big play here for Monroe Central.
Yeah, and I think you're in no man's land here. Yeah, and even if you don't, I think you're obviously going for the sticks, but if you don't get it, I think you're going for it on 4th down. So you have 2 plays to pick up about 9 yards here.
Xavier Kinney's going to run into play for the Seminoles here. He checks into the ball game as Rose Burton will be in the gun once again. They'll have a trips bunch formation. The bunch will be at the bottom of your screen. Knowlton, a lone receiver at the top. Rose Burton's going to have a direct keep. Breaks contained by the Rocks. Makes 1 man miss. Makes 2. He's going to get knocked out around the 10-yard line. I think he's going to have enough for a 1st down. So that's 2 straight 3rd down conversions just by him. It's a direct snap to him and let your athlete do his thing.
Yeah, and that time it looked like the outside backer for the Rocks did a blitz inside, and as soon as Rose Burton saw that, he just kicked it to the outside, and there was just no one left to really stop him that short. Made 1 man miss, and I mean, I think it reminds me a lot of Ryman for Shady Side.
Yeah.
He's going to make 1 man miss typically on about any time he carries the ball.
So it'll be 1st and 10 here at the 12-yard line. Rose Burton will be in the gun alongside Leidick, and he's going to make 1 man miss, get around to the edge, get a nice block from his receiver, step out of bounds after he gains about 5. Nice block there by Austin Yannick, the 5'10 senior receiver out there, and was able to get Rose Burton to the edge. And you know, I've seen the Rocks thus far get good pressure off the edge and good penetration, but it just doesn't matter because Rose Burton is running right around him right now. When you got a superior athlete like that, like we talked about, it's just about managing him and not letting him blow the game open.
Yeah, and those last couple plays, it looks like Barnesville has had pretty good contain.
Yeah.
Rose Burton's just been able to break it outside.
Simply just running around it, for lack of a better term. So it'll be 2nd and about 7 here. As Rose Burton will take the snap, looks back to throw. He's a lefty. He's going to roll out to the left. Looks like he's going to run. 1 man to beat, and that's Gavin Carpenter, and a nice tackle. But it's going to be close here. So the 1st down marker was at the 1.5-yard line. That's about where Rose Burton got tackled. And so it'll be interesting to see. It looks like they're going to call him short. So it'll be third down here, but not 3rd and goal. So the Seminoles can still pick up a 1st down here without scoring.
That's a tough spot to be in on this Shamrock defense. I mean, you're trying to keep them out of the end zone, but
you give up a yard, they're going to give them 4 more chances. So it'll be 3rd and about 1 here from the 2-yard line.
Sticking with the pistol, I would have thought they might go under center here, but I don't think Monroe really looks to ever really go completely under center.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it as far as Coach Ishii sprints down the sideline and calls a timeout. Got a look he didn't like, obviously, and they're going to try to draw something up here. While we got a break, how about some trivia here, Mr. Clark?
We can throw out that first one. First trivia question. Coming into tonight, Barnesville has shut out their last 2 opponents. When is the last time a Barnesville team shut out 2 consecutive opponents, and who were the teams that they shut out? So what year did they have 2 consecutive shutouts last, and who were the teams that they shut out? If you have the answer, you can tweet at Strauss Films. You can send an email at shamrockstrivia@gmail.com.
So yeah, bring in your answers for that trivia question. The Rocks have got 2 consecutive shutouts. When was the last time that has happened with the Shamrock defense? And we'll see if they can keep this. What's that? 2 in the teams. So we'll see if the Rocks can keep up their shutout here, because they've got a tall task ahead of them right here. So it'll be 3rd and 1 here. Rose Burton will be in the pistol. Number 22, Landon Liddick, will be the tailback. Trips bunch at the top of your screen. Knowlton, the lone receiver at the bottom. And they're going to hand it off to Liddick. He's going to get hit. He's falling forward. But the Rocks defense is going to win the pile, which keeps him from scoring. And I can't believe it. They didn't give him the 1st down. I can't believe it. I thought he was in.
That's kind of what I was thinking. I mean, we said they kept him out of the end zone, definitely, but I thought he at least got a half yard to move the chains. But
I sure
get
did
it up
too.
to the Shamrock defense. We're getting a big stop there for nothing. And another one there. It looks to be about a half yard.
It looks about a yard, half yard, like you said. But of course, that's always the toughest yard to get.
Yeah. big moment in this game in the early going.
So Rose Burton will be in the gun. Lidicus tailback. 2 receivers and a tight end to the top of your screen, and he'll drop back to throw. Had a man in the flats. That was number 24, Xavier Kinney. They had him wide open, and the pass was just passes out, reached hand. And so the Rocks will take over and continue this streak of not giving up any points.
That is a huge stop. I mean, I'm really surprised that Monroe went to the air there, but he was open, just couldn't connect with him in the flat, or he would have been walking in for a touchdown.
I don't know that it was that bad of a ball, but it just, that connection wasn't there. It was just enough to be incomplete, you know. I can't really tell you whose fault it was, really, but it doesn't matter because you didn't get it.
Yeah. Doesn't matter on the scoreboard whose fault it was.
Looks like Coach Blake Allen's going to have a timeout. Maybe the Rocks had an extra man on the field. And so Blake Allen and his squad's going to talk this one over and manage how they want to get out of the Monroe Central Seminole territory here. Not a place you want to get a penalty, because the closer you get to that goal line, you know, it's like the wall. You're backed up against the wall. You know what I mean? You got no room for error.
Well, the good news on a penalty is you're only giving up about a yard. The bad news is if you take a penalty there, you're snapping from, it looks to be inside your own 1.
Yeah. Always a hard place to punt out of your own end zone too, and you're really scared to go in the gun, you know, just because of a snap issue maybe, or you know, usually take a handoff 4 yards deep back there, right?
Yeah.
If you have a missed exchange with the handoff, anytime you put the ball on the ground is never good, but especially this close to the end zone, because they can just jump on it and there's 6. New game.
I expect to see Barnesville going under center here, and it looks like they got 2 fullbacks in too.
Looks like they'll kick out Salvador Alvarez back, kind of like they do Gavin Carpenter. Carpenter will be at center here. Hannes will be under center. He'll take the snap, hand it out to Wise. Got a nice hole, and he's going to go for a good ways, as he's going to get brought down after, but not before he picks up about 17 or 18. So a nice play there.
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly what you needed there. That gets Barnesville out to about the 19-yard line. So a nice little 18-yard run there to open up some breathing room for the Rocks.
Marshall Mead, a freshman, number 52, was the extra lineman they threw in there.
Yeah, you're going to get to see a lot of freshmen that haven't typically played a lot of meaningful varsity snaps in tonight.
Hannes will be under center. He's going to turn around and hand it off to Wise once again. Who else would it be? As he looks like he's going to get stuffed, but not before he picks up about 3. A couple Seminoles there on the tackle. Number 21, Austin Yannick. Number 1, Tucker Howell. Howell, just a freshman for the Seminoles.
Yeah, and what you mentioned about, I forget who you said was the extra running back, or extra fullback back there. Normally that is Gavin Carpenter, but due to needs on the team, he's now your center. So we won't be seeing Gavin Carpenter in the backfield tonight unless they put in a new center. But
doesn't appear to be that way, as Hannes will be under center, and they'll be in the I formation as they run a counter tray right back to your side of the field. Wise is going to finally get tackled. That was by number 21, Austin Yannick, but not before he picks up a first down. Nice little play there for the Rocks.
The Shamrock line's opening up some holes, and Wise is doing a really good job of finding a little seam and fitting through a little gap. I mean, there was a hole there, but it wasn't overly big, but he did a good job to get skinny and was able to pick up enough for a first down.
So it'll be 1st and 10 here from about the 36. The Rocks will stay in the I formation. Looks like Wise will be the tight end here, and Bliss the tailback, and they're going to pitch it to Bliss. He's got a lead blocker. That's Connor Jones. He explodes through the hole, makes 1 man miss, 2, and he stays up on his feet, actually, and he picks up about almost 30 yards on the play.
And that's an aspect of Spencer Bliss's game that you don't often really get to see. I mean, everyone knows he's pretty quick and he has moves to make you miss, but that time he showed a little bit of the power and refusal to go down.
Yeah. Anytime you see him in the backfield, you got to be thinking something's up if you're Monroe Central. So it'll be 1st and 10 here for the Rocks at the 35-yard line. 1:40 left to go here in the first period. Spencer Bliss will be a receiver all by himself at the bottom of your screen. Hannis will be under center. It'll be a fullback dive to Connor Jones. He's got a nice little crease. He's going to pick up about an easy 15 before he's brought down by number 13, Malachi Roseburg.
Yeah, Barnesville's offense really gashing the Monroe Central defense on some runs in this first quarter. I mean, they haven't, other than the touchdown, they haven't had to go to the air, and if they don't get put in obvious passing downs, I think that's fine with Coach Allen's game plan. He'll run the ball all night.
A run first team as they should be, as the Rocks will be under center here at the 19-yard line. Hannis will turn around, hand it off to Owen Wise. Makes a nice jump cut. And he'll finally be brought down, but I think he got another first down with 56 seconds left to go here in the first period.
Yeah, I believe that'll be first and goal at about the 8 or 9.
Rocks offense cooking here. If they end up scoring, this will be a, what, 98-yard drive?
Yeah, 98 and a half if you want to get technical.
Yeah. So we'll see if the Rocks are able to punch it in here before the quarter. Like you mentioned, Gavin Carpenter is the center here for the Rocks tonight. His Hannis will be under him. And he'll turn around, pitch to Bliss. He's got a couple lead blockers, makes one nice cut. He sprints to the pylon. Touchdown, Bliss!
And just able to beat him out to the corner. Shamrocks went to a little jumbo package, having Alvarez off the line and as a fullback, taking the Gavin Carpenter spot. And Bliss just able to make a couple guys miss and break it to the outside.
Gavin Carpenter will be on to attempt the extra point. Aiden Van Horn to hold. Snap is good. Hold is down. Kick is up and good. Dead center, but it's almost blocked.
Pretty close to being blocked twice in a row. But I was told my mic wasn't working very well earlier, so I'll throw out that trivia question again. Coming into tonight's game, the Shamrocks had 2 consecutive shutouts. We're looking for the last time that a Barnesville team had 2 consecutive shutouts, so the year, and what 2 teams did they shut out in that year? If you think you have the answer, you can tweet at Strauss Films, or you can email shamrockstrivia@gmail.com.
Looking for the last time a Shamrock defense has had 2 consecutive shutouts, just like this 2021 Shamrock defense, and we're also looking for the 2 teams who they shut out. So with 25 seconds left to go, or 27 seconds, I'm sorry, left to go here in the first period, Gavin Carpenter is going to be set to kick off. Rocks up 14-0 early.
Can't ask for a much better first quarter to this point for the Rocks.
Gavin Carpenter will kick it off. It's going to land about the 30 and roll back to about the 20 before Seminole finally jumps on. I thought the Rocks had a shot at it right there.
That was a lot closer than I'm sure Coach Ishii for Monroe Central wants that to be. I mean, that almost ended up being about a 30-yard onside kick for the Rocks.
That was number 81, Michael Bunning, there to receive it for the Seminoles. And that's where they'll take over at the 24. So we'll see what the Seminoles have conjured up here. Rose Burton will be in the gun. Trips bunch at the top of your screen. Looks like they're using a dummy count as he'll get pressure off the edge. And he's going to feel it and overthrow his receiver. That was number 81, Michael Bunning.
That was the first time we've seen the Rocks able to get to Rose Burton on a pass, and we're about a half second away from getting a sack there.
That was number 8, Luke Detling, coming in hot off the edge.
Yeah, Luke Detling, normally a corner on this Rocks defense, but looked like he came from the outside backer position there to supply some pressure. But I like that adjustment from Coach Allen. That's a little quicker on the edge there to try to contain Rose Burton.
He definitely felt the pressure here with 23 seconds left to go here in the first period as he'll take the snap, rolls to the right. And he's going to have to turn his body to the left. He throws a nice ball. He's got one man down there. It's going to be a jump ball. And the pass was deflected by C.J. Hannis. It's just like It was a nice ball, but his receivers beat him down there, and that was all he had.
He did have 2-on-1 down there. There was only Hannes, the deep safety, there for the Rocks, and he did have 2 receivers, but just unable to connect there. Hannes makes a good play on the ball.
And that's tough, too. You know, he's rolling to his right, which is natural for a play caller to call because most people are right-handed. But with Roseburton being a lefty, you got to flip-flop all your usual plays you call, right?
That's a tough rollout for I'm left-handed, and anything going to your right, trying to throw anything is going to be a little tougher. Got a guess for our trivia question. Jerry Robinson throwing out Union Local and Caldwell in 2018. That is incorrect. So keep those guesses coming. Again, either email shamrockstrivia@gmail.com or tweet at Strauss Films on Twitter.
Monroe Central, in case you're wondering, took a timeout with 13 seconds left here on third down.
That's their second of the half, so I'm guessing that's one he didn't want to take, but they must have saw something, or
someone wasn't lined up right or didn't get a signal in for whatever reason. So it'll be 3rd and 10 here for the Seminoles. It'll be trips to the top of your screen. Wide splits by the Monroe Central offensive line, I've noticed. As Roseburton will take the snap. You get pressure off the edge from Luke Detling again. Looks out to his receiver. It's number 81, Michael Bunning, and it's incomplete. That'll bring up 4th down here for the Seminoles.
And it's tough to tell because Monroe Central doesn't have that many, but I believe they just brought on their punt team. It's tough to tell because there's only about 2 or 3 players coming in and out there, but I believe they are going to punt this one away. And go figure, Mr. Do Everything for them. I believe that is Roseburton back to punt.
Not that they're in position to run a fake here, Brian, but anytime you got your best athlete back there, it's got to be in the back of your mind.
That's a nice little thing to have in your back pocket.
As his punt will be maybe fielded. Nope. Bliss gets away from it, and it's going to roll to about the 41. That's going to be the end of the first quarter. Your Rocks up 14-0 over the Monroe Central Seminoles. Yeah, haven't got any other guesses, have we, for trivia?
I haven't been emailed. I'm going to check the Twitter here in a second.
Send in those guesses. While we got a second here, I want to read off some of these stats like we tried to allude to earlier. Rushing leaders in the Times leader coverage area. Malachi Roseburton for Monroe Central has, looks like 81 carries for 886 yards and 15 touchdowns on the ground this season. And I'm looking for the passing list. Roseburton's also near the top in 3rd place in the Times leader coverage area with 67 completions. Before this game, obviously, 67 completions out of 133 attempts. Grand passing and 12 touchdowns and 1 INT. Not far behind him is Barnesville C.J. Hannes, has 54 attempts on 54 completions on 93 attempts, 104 passing yards, and 6 touchdowns.
Yeah. And Owen Wise right there was about 1 tackle away from breaking another long one, but even as it is, he picked up enough to move the chains. I thought he might have got stopped a little short, but picks up enough, and that's another. Barnesville's really moving the chains early on in this first half.
They've had 0 to little issue moving the football here thus far this game. It'll be 1st and 10 here as the Rocks finally cross midfield. Hannes will be under center. They'll run a counter trade back at your side of the camera. Oh, and Wise got a nice room to run with. He's going to get finally brought down by number 21. That's Austin Yannick, but not before he picks up another first down.
And Wise is down, holding his right leg.
Looks like when he got wrapped up, it kind of got bent back underneath him when Yannick tackled him. And does not look great, so the training staff will have to go down there and assess him.
Yeah, alluding to your point there. To this point, the Shamrocks really haven't fell behind schedule on any downs or anything. They've been able to run the ball pretty effectively. But
hopefully Owen Wise is okay here. We'd like to see him get up. You hate to see that anytime.
Yeah, went down and was not moving really at all.
You always hate to see it, but especially
he's getting up
for
on his feet now.
A senior, and he looks like he's going to limp off the field a little bit. Boy, it didn't look good when I first saw it.
Yeah, his leg got caught under him, and he kind of slid, and that never really looks good. You hope it just looks worse than it really ends up being. And
I was really nervous there for a second when I saw him.
Him walking off on his own power is an encouraging sign.
So the Rocks will go without Wise here, and looks like it will be...
I believe that might be his brother.
I think it is his brother, yeah.
Well,
be trying to get a number here. Is that number 5? Yep, number 5,
so, yeah.
Eli Wise. And Hannes will step back, looks, throws a nice ball to Bliss, but it's going to be out of bounds as Hannes' ball pulled Bliss out of bounds just a little bit. Bliss had a step on his man, but not able to come up with it, so that'll bring up 2nd down.
Yeah, I think Bliss kind of lost where he was. He might have had a shot at the ball if he would have stayed in bounds, but he just drifted off with it and just wasn't able to secure the catch. But I like that aggressiveness from Barnesville, but I expect to see them go back to the run game here with the younger Wise.
It'll be 2nd 10 here as Hannes will hand off to his fullback. That's Connor Jones.
He's got to be averaging close to 5 or 6 a carry, and not a lot of carries, but so far playing pretty well tonight.
Very rarely this season have we ever said his name in negative yards in the same sentence.
He's normally good for at least a couple after contact.
You know, fullback dive's such a quick hitter, and you never see it anymore because you never see a fullback really.
Yeah, Barnesville, they have used the fullback a lot since Coach Allen took over.
As Hannes will be in the gun, he's going to run a counter trade. He's got a little room to run. He's going to finally get knocked out. That by number, looks like 82, and that's Carter Knowlton.
Yeah, Barnesville throwing in some wrinkles on the running game, going with a quick hitter to the fullback and then doing a kind of read option where C.J. Hannes keeps the ball.
And they'll come back with a very similar play to Spencer Bliss as he's going to make one-man miss, try to get to the edge, bowing it out. Does break a tackle, and it looks like he's going to pick up about 5. But he worked a lot harder to get those 5 yards than he could just running straight forward.
I think he ran about 40 to pick up 5 there, but good job to him. I didn't think he was going to get back to the line at one point on that run, but he did a good job to pick up a good chunk there.
Nice play design there by Blake Allen. It was a similar play just set up by the previous play. They just ran with the quarterback keeper by Hannes, and I don't know. I think it looked like Bliss might have missed his hole. I think there would have been a lot of running room if he would have cut back up inside.
Yeah.
Hannes will take it and he'll hand it off to Connor Jones. He's going to get met by a couple Seminoles, but not before he picks up about 3 or 4. So that'll bring up 3rd down here. Another nice run by the senior Jones.
Yeah, he's getting a lot of carries in this first half. Looks like, I want to say 3rd and 4. So, yeah, I mean, you can throw out Carpenter, pretty good field goal kicker if you want to, but I see Barnesville doing 2 plays to pick up the first down here. Unless they take this one for a little bit of a loss. If they get anything positive here, I see them going for it on 4th.
And they're going to get in their stack eye here.
There's movement there.
Looks like they were trying to draw them off sides.
I think they did.
I could tell they were doing that because Hannes, he didn't even have his hands underneath the center.
Yep, and they got encroachment on Monroe Central, and I believe that'll be enough to move it to 1st and goal. So yeah, that's a big play there for the Rocks. Not even having to run a play and pick up the first down.
So it'll be 1st and goal from about the 4-yard line. Looks like the Rocks are going to keep in the same personnel, stay in the stack eye here. Alvarez, the extra lineman, moved into the backfield. They'll put him in motion, and he'll shift over to the right side, and he'll hand it off to Connor Jones. Touchdown! Shamrocks. Jones walks in easy on the fullback ISO. How often do you ever hear a fullback ISO, huh?
We saw about every play designed for a fullback to get a handoff on that drive there.
Nice to see the senior gets a nice rushing touchdown there for the Rocks. Connor Jones, the senior. Gavin Carpenter will be on the attempt, the extra point. Aiden Van Horn to hold. Carpenter's kick will be up and good. So the Rocks will extend their lead to 21 here with 9:19 to play in the second quarter here.
Can't imagine a much better start in Coach Allen's mind. Going up against a pretty potent Monroe Central attack here to have a shutout going about midway through the second quarter. I mean, and a goal line stand on top of that.
I believe, yeah, 3 drives for the Rocks, three scores.
Yeah, I mean, they've done. The offense has done really good, and I mean the defense has stepped up when they've had to. Rose Burton has gotten his so far to this game, but the Shamrocks D has tightened whenever it mattered.
So Gavin Carpenter will be set to kick it off here from the 40. So the Rocks will kick it. That's the number 81. That's Michael Bunning, and he's going to take it, try to cross field. Going to be tackled at around the 22-yard line.
Yeah, he ended up going a lot more east and west than north-south there.
Number 1, Tayson Starr on the tackle. Also on the tackle for the Rocks is number 33, Luke Taylor.
I think he was looking for a Shamrocks player to just kind of over-pursue and get out of their lane, but the Shamrocks did a good job of staying in their lines and not breaking contain.
So it'll be 1st and 10 here. Rose Burton will be in the gun. Liddick his tailback. And he'll take the snap. It looks like a direct run. As Monroe will leave a guy unblocked on the front side. Looked to be Luke Taylor, first man to hit him. Rose Burton made him miss, but not before he's met by another Shamrock.
And while we're waiting on this next play, we're going to have to apologize because we had the wrong answer to our trivia question. It turns out 2018 is correct. We did shut out Caldwell 37-0 and Union Local 30-0 in back-to-back weeks to end the season. That is not the answer we had, but we will give credit. And
Rose Burton's pass is going to be intended for number 81. That's Michael Bunning. And it's going to be picked off by the Rocks. That was quarterback C.J. Hanna, so a nice play there.
Yeah, that's a great way to read Rose Burton's eyes, and Candace just makes a play on the ball. But again, we apologize. I believe that means Jerry Robinson did have that answer right.
Jerry Robinson wins the first half trivia.
That was a good. I didn't think that was right. I thought I had looked it up, and I thought we had it to where we thought the answer was something different, but. Thank you to Will Dodd also for sending that screenshot on Twitter, and that showed us that we had the wrong answer.
Hannes' pass intended for Connor Jones in the flats. Ball is just over his head and will be incomplete, and he'll bring up 2nd down. Got to hold us guys up here accountable sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, our trivia department's a little lacking right now. I take responsibility for that one.
It'll be 2nd and 10 here for the Rocks. We'll see what Coach Blake Allen has conjured up here. Looks like you're going to stay in the I formation. 2 receivers to the top of your screen. Tight end at the bottom. Tight end will be Luke Taylor. And they're going to come back and run a little misdirection play to Spencer Bliss. He's going to go to distance, I think. Maybe. Got to make one man miss, and he does. Oh, and he's close. But they're going to call him down at the 1-yard line. I thought he had enough to go to distance, but just short.
I was just about to say before this drive that this was kind of do or die for the Monroe Central defense. If you go down 4 scores in the first half, that's really tough to come back from. And Barnesville breaks another one. Another wrinkle that I don't think we've seen. I don't think we've seen that kind of play design this year either.
That's a Fort Fry play right there. I've seen that play before, but not ran by the green and red, unfortunately.
Fort Fry's had a lot of success running those type of counters and misdirections, and it's working for the Rocks early, and they'll go jumbo again.
1st and goal here, and they'll turn around and hand it off to Spencer Bliss. He's going to walk in the end zone. Touchdown, Shamrocks. Spencer Bliss. So I always love to see that. When a kid gets a big run and gets tackled, within the 5, you want to turn around and just give it to him again if he's got the energy.
Well, yeah, and I think Wise still being a little hobbled works out for Bliss there because he was lining up at Wise's normal spot and gets the carry and goes in untouched.
Looking at the score, I'm not so sure that Wise is probably done for the game, I would imagine.
Yeah, I mean,
Carpenter's kick is up.
I was trying to spot him on the bench. I can't see him on the sideline right now, but
he's up. Wise is up and moving on the sideline, it looks like.
So that's good to see. But yeah, like you said, his night might be over a little prematurely. Okay, so first half we got a 4-score lead for the Rocks, and that question got answered pretty fast. So we'll throw out a little bit harder one, I think.
Good luck with this one.
I mean, there might be someone from that time that gets it, but let's do. What do you think? Top 5?
Yep, top 5.
We're looking for the top 5 longest career field goal in Barnesville history. So
ball's on the ground here for the Seminoles as Knowlton fumbles the kick, and he's going to get brought down around the 20-yard line. Nice kick there from Gavin Carpenter. Speaking of kicks, we're looking for,
again, the top 5 longest field goals in Barnesville football history. Looking for the longest made field goal. Who kicked it? Looking for the top 5. There is 7 names. We do have 2 ties on it, so there are, well, actually there are 4 names, but 7 spots, so that kind of gives it a little bit away.
All right, so we're looking for the longest kick in Shamrock history. If you can give your guesses to shamrockstrivia@gmail.com or at Strauss Films on Twitter. Give us your answers in here. It looks like we got another timeout by the Rocks here. Wrong personnel on the field, I do believe, for the Shamrocks. And so both teams will have 1 timeout remaining with 7:40 still left to go in the first half.
Yeah, it looked like Barnesville was down a DB. They only had 10 on the field, and that's definitely not a way you want to, if you were to give up a big play there, I think Coach Allen would regret not using any timeouts there.
Yeah.
So you have them, use them in that situation.
A little bit easier to have a timeout and waste it kind of like that in the first half. You know what I mean? In the second half, if you're down, especially you're trying to keep them in your back pocket for a last-second drive. But in the first half, you never want to give up an easy touchdown like that because it can change the complexion of a game just like that.
With his team up 28, I don't think he's going to mind using that timeout as much as he might if he was only up 7 or so. But
it'll be 1st and 10 here as Rose Burton will be in the gun.
We'll see
alongside his tailback, Yannick.
See if they come out with any wrinkles in their game plan. I expect to see a little bit of trickery here.
So he'll put a man in motion. That's Knowlton. No handed off, and that is Liddick. I'm sorry. And he's got a nice crease there, and he's going to pick up about 15 yards there.
That was one of Monroe's better chunk plays tonight, and it didn't come from Rose Burton.
Nice chunk play there, almost about 20 yards for Liddick. Boy, Barnesville coming off a big win last week. They go up to Steubenville and beat Catholic Central 50-0. How about that, Brian?
Yeah, I mean, playing really well as the season kind of winds down. I mean, they looked pretty good against Toronto the week before, too.
As Rose Burton's handoff will go to Liddick again, and he'll get stopped right at the line of scrimmage there, so that'll bring up second down.
And I do have a correct answer to our trivia question. Jeff Powell coming in with Jorn Middlestad and also saying duh. So, I mean, that one was kind of obvious if you're a Barnesville football historian. He owns the number 1, 3, and 5 record, but there still are 3 other names there that are a little harder to get. So, see if anyone can come up with those.
One of them being a player here recently, and the other one being a son of a former Shamrock assistant coach. So Rose Burton will keep the snap, and he's going to be off around the left side. Boy, he looks fast. And he's going to, I thought he was going to make one-man miss, but he's finally brought down, but he's going to pick up about 12 yards and a first down.
That was one where you thought he was going to make that DB miss, but Barnesville sure lucky he didn't.
Little shoestring tackle there.
I think he'd be in the end zone there if he didn't get tackled.
It's very evident Monroe Central's game plan is let's get this kid in space, because when he is, he's electric. Barnesville trying to keep up this streak of shutouts. We'll see what Rose Burton and the Seminoles have to say about that here moving forward. It'll be 1st and 10 here from the 47 as Rose Burton will hand off to Liddick, and he's going to pick up about 4 or 5.
Another one that he almost broke.
A couple good games going on around the valley. St. Clairsville and Union Local playing tonight. That's at St. Clairsville. Bel Air and Shadyside playing tonight.
That's a big game, but Shadyside's still undefeated. And Bel Air just coming off their first loss of the season to St. Clairsville.
Yeah, got a quick score here. It says Shadyside 6, Bel Air nothing in the second. Cambridge and Warren also playing. Looks like St. Clair's was up 14-0 in the second quarter over the Jets. As Liddick will take the handoff, and he's going to pick up another nice chunk, and I think he might have gotten 10 yards there. The inside zone looks good for the Seminoles.
Yeah, in Barnesville, I think they're so worried about the QB keeper with this Monroe Central offense that they've been able to kind of gash them with Liddick. He's been able to find some running room the last couple of carries.
I've been surprised that we haven't seen any kind of zone read from the Seminoles with 2 good athletes in the backfield like that. You would think they'd develop some kind of option off of that. As Rose Burton will take the snap. Maybe he was reading there. And Liddick's not going to get anything. And I think he was reading it there. Barnesville's so, like you said, they got all their eyes on Rose Burton. It's like we're not going to let him get a pull read.
Yeah, I think as far as the zone read, it's not a true zone read. The offensive line, I think they're just blocking straight ahead.
Yeah.
And Rose Burton's just reading the blocks, so it's a zone read in his head, but I think Monroe's keeping the blocking schemes as simple as possible and just letting their athletes kind of read what the blocks are opening up.
Monroe's theory here is spread them out, try to get the numbers in the box. As Rose Burton will step back, looks, throws, got a man, overthrown. That was Knowlton. Pass incomplete. Owen Wise.
Yeah, back on the
coverage
field.
In there, so he's back in the game after what looked to be a nasty injury. But
you like to see that.
3:42 left to go here in the first half. Quick game thus far.
Yeah, this one's moving right along, and Monroe can't get anything here. I mean, you're looking, the 30-point running clock rule might come into play.
Look at this. We got a 3rd down here. Looks like Monroe's going to come out in the muddle huddle. Rose Burton's going to take the snap. It's high. They're going to fake the bubble, and Rose Burton's just going to take off. Makes a man miss. Makes another man miss. He's sprinting to the end zone. Makes another man miss. Touchdown, Seminoles.
And you could tell that had Barnesville all types of confused. And I said that I was expecting Monroe to kind of come out and do a little bit of trickery there, and Barnesville looked completely lost there. Faked the screen pass, and then there was no one left up the middle for the Rocks, and Rose Burton makes the only two with a chance miss.
Monroe runs a muddle huddle in the middle of the field, tries to throw the bubble, it ain't there.
I really
thought, get a 40-yard touchdown.
I really thought that Coach Allen was going to look to use a timeout there, and I think he's might be regretting that he didn't there.
And it looks like Monroe's going to come back out and the same thing for the 2-point conversion. Try to run a jet, nothing doing. Rocks are all over it. Number 33, Luke Taylor. Quentin Lazier, number 72 in there. Also, and Luke Detling, number 8, won a tackle. And so that'll bring our score with 3:30 left to go here in the second quarter. Rocks 28, Seminoles 6.
Well, it just said that Monroe was kind of spreading everyone out and trying to get numbers in the box. Well, that's one way to get numbers in the box.
Not the traditional way I was thinking that they would do it. There you go.
Got a couple trivia answers here. Jeff Powell throwing out Jason Marks and Bryce Davis. Bryce Davis is correct, sitting at number 2 with the 41-yard field goal made in 1988. Middlestad holds the record with a 44-yarder in 85. Getting another couple answers. Jason Marks being thrown out again, but then Lance Hannes getting another correct answer with Aiden Hannes kicked a 38-yarder in 2020. So looks like we just have number 5 left, a tie for number 5, a 36-yarder. That's probably the toughest one to get.
Look at the opponent, Woodsfield.
Well, there's your hint. It was against Woodsfield, not Monroe Central. It was against Woodsfield.
I think I might have gave away too much there. I didn't realize that.
That's a quick hint there, but yeah, ironically, it's against Woodsfield. Well, then, looking at this list too, Middlestad's 38-yarder that ties him for 3rd is against Mingo. That's another one that's been away for a while.
Mingo now Indian Creek High School.
Yeah. I do like seeing these kind of stat sheets and seeing who we did what against with some old teams. And looking down the list, we had Jason Marks thrown out. He's on the list sitting at one of his records at 17th, but that came in an overtime game in the playoffs against Wheelersburg that ended up winning the game. So
kicks on the ground, almost recovered by the Seminoles, kind of like an onside kick, and Duker Costello's going to jump on it. Thank goodness for the Rock's sake.
Yeah, that would have been we would have seen a huge momentum shift there if Monroe was able to come up with that onside kick.
Might have caught the Rocks sleeping there. They weren't expecting it, and as they caught me sleeping, that's for sure. Wasn't expecting that. So it'll be 1st and 10 here for the Rocks at about the 37-yard line. 3:30 left to go here in the first half.
The way they've been moving the ball, there's plenty of time for this Shamrock attack.
As they'll put Bliss in motion, they're going to run a quick jet sweep with him. He's going to get a nice block from Owen Wise. Looks like they're going to throw a flag, though, as Bliss dances around. Picks up the first down, but I think we're going to get either a block in the back or a holding here on the Rocks.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that block by Wise and it started out good, but I think it ended up turning into a block in the back there.
Blocking on the perimeter is always a difficult thing, because all the eyes are on you. When you're inside as an offensive lineman, especially an interior lineman, you can kind of do whatever with your hands because there's so much discombobulation going on in there. You get on the edge where everyone can see you. Everyone's going to know if it's a holding or not.
And it's so tough when the ball carrier runs past you. You have to let go of that block almost immediately or you're going to get flagged for a hold. So, one of the first flags of this game. We saw an encroachment on Monroe, and then other than that, it's been relatively clean first half.
Monroe's going to be, it looks like, in a 3 front here as Barnesville is going to run a counter trade with Hannes. He's got a little bit of room. One man to beat, that's Rose Burton. He's going to finally go out of bounds, tackle from behind.
And that's a way to get the penalty yardage back and more.
Monroe Central coming out in like a 3-man front and was trying to bring a guy off the edge to get their 4th man in there with pressure. Rocks, when they're in that you know, when they're in a lighter personnel right there, like 11 personnel, 10 personnel, right? You want to spread everybody out, and it just opens up the blocks, kind of like we were talking about with Monroe Central.
Yeah, I don't know if we've seen this many designed quarterback runs from Barnesville to this point in the season.
Owen Wise is going to plow forward for an easy 8 yards. Having a nice night tonight here.
Yeah, the Shamrock rushing attack as a whole, there hasn't been too many negative carries.
Just want to thank our sponsors here for tonight's game. Hissom Service Center, Campbell-Plumly-Milburn Funeral Home, Woodsfield Savings Bank, and Janice Milliken. We want to thank you to our sponsors for helping us put this on. Love to be able to live stream these games to all you fans out there. As Connor Jones is going to plow forward for about 5 or 6, going to pick up the first down, but we really do
tackle there. He was about ready to break another touchdown, but yeah, appreciate the sponsors and appreciate BHS teacher Trisha Zaccanini and the Roosevelt from Bel Air for feeding the press box tonight. Always appreciate the being fed at halftime up here.
Thank you to our sponsors. So it'll be 1st and 10 here from about the 20-yard line. As Hannes will be under center. Ball's on the ground. Bobble the snap. Hannes picks it back up, though. I think he actually got 2 yards. I don't know if I've ever seen someone drop a snap and pick it up and gain 2 yards off of it.
Yeah, Barnesville's been really fortunate in this first half. They've gotten a lot of pretty good bounces.
And he lost his shoe. How about that? It'll be 2nd and about 8 here for the Rocks. Hannes will be under center in the I formation again. Luke Taylor, the tight end. Connor Jones, the fullback. Owen Wise, the tailback. 2 receivers split as they'll hand it off to Owen Wise. Plows forward for about 8.
It's close.
I think they're going to mark him short, Ryan.
It's, from our view, maybe a half yard, maybe a short yard.
Hannes will get under center. They're going quick as he's just going to sneak it forward. And what a push by the offensive line. He spins out of it! Touchdown, Shamrocks!
Don't see that too often either. It looked like he gained the first, but it looked like he was going to get just kind of consumed in the middle of that pile, but able to spin out of it.
Nice little play there for the Rocks as Hannes takes the quarterback sneak to try to pick up the first down, but he had different plans, and he ends up going in for 6 here. So the Rocks look like they're going to go for it here. Trying to go for a 2-point conversion here as Hannes will be under center. And he's going to turn around and hand it off to Owen Wise. He's going to walk in for the conversion. So the Rocks will extend their lead to 36-6 here with under a minute here left in the first half. You know, I think that was one of the situations where Blake Allen looks at it. He goes, we've been running the ball so well. Our offensive line's playing so well, been so dominant. The extra points there. Let's just go ahead and keep doing what we've been doing all game.
And going back to that touchdown, I don't think you're counting on a 12-yard QB sneak right up the gut. I mean, they were going for the first down, but I mean, that's just a pretty athletic play by Hannes to stay on his feet.
All right, so Gavin Carpenter will be set to kick here. Just under a minute to play here before halftime. Back deep to receive for the Seminoles will be number 21, Austin Yannick. And number 81, that's Michael Bunning.
I think kickoff return might be one of the few times that Rose Burton gets a break from the field.
As it'll be fielded, that's by number, 82. That's Carter Knowlton. He's going to take off. He makes a man miss. As the Rocks get over lanes, he makes Gavin Carpenter miss, and he tries to stay up, and he's finally brought down around the 15-yard line. What a return there by Carter Knowlton after he bobbled the first contact with the football.
The Shamrocks were on him almost immediately as soon as he got control of the ball, but he did a great job of making the first man miss and then just found a seam. And Gavin Carpenter did a good job to make his way over there just to make him change direction a little, and it let the Shamrock pursuit catch up. But
it was almost like with the bobble, the Rocks got there too soon and over pursued it. As it looks like, ball's going to be placed on the left hash.
Yeah,
Rose Burton will be in the gun, 2x2. Dummy count, and he'll take the snap, hand it off to Leidick, and he's got a little crease, finally brought down by Connor Jones, Luke Taylor, and Gavin Carpenter. And Monroe Central is going to use their final timeout with 33 seconds left to go here, so they'll have the ball at the 10-yard line with a couple shots here at the end zone, Brian.
Yeah, this is a big possession in this game. I mean, obviously it'll go a long ways to get Monroe Central closer to being in this game, but if the score holds like this going into the second half, we'd have a running clock to start the second half with it being a 30-point lead for the Rocks. So
another reason to go for two there.
Yeah, I gotta think that they're, after having kicked every single time to that point, I gotta think that factored into Coach Allen's decision. The less time that Rose Burton and the Seminole offense has to work with in the second half, I think the more comfortable you'll feel.
We've seen him at times tonight when he's in space. Boy, he's a nice player.
He is electric. Yeah, I mean, we haven't seen too many individual players up against the Rocks that have been as good as he is right now.
Been that dominant, like you said. And they're going to have a couple shots here at the end zone before half, as he'll be all by himself in an empty formation. Looks like quads to the right and a lone receiver at the top.
I'd watch a draw right up the middle.
As Rose Burton will take it, and he's going to run up the middle. Looks, throws, fires. Got a man. I don't know if the refs know if they hit the ground or not. No one's going to rule it. Should be a touchdown, I think.
Looked like he caught it to me, but there's still no ruling here.
No, none of them have any idea. They're going to call it a touchdown finally. It didn't look like none of them had an idea, Brian.
Well, not a great view for any of the officials. The closest one to the call is directly behind him by the goalpost, and a tough angle for him to see. The only one with the head-on view of it is the head ref, and he's behind both lines and in the backfield. And he's the one who finally made the call. But great ball there from Rose Burton.
It was a really good job of stepping up in the pocket and finding his man. So the Seminoles will elect to go for two here. As they'll stay in the same formation, Rose Burton's going to drop back. Looks, he's got pressure. That's number one. Tayson Starr, he's going to get a nice block as he rolls around. Looks, fires.
That was a bullet.
Yeah, it was. He got a little extra on that. I'm kind of curious as to why he didn't just walk into the end zone. I thought he had a little bit of green in front of him. But it was a nice pass there. Had a man open and just, when you're condensed in that side of the field, Brian, you don't have a safety playing 20 yards deep. You know what I mean? Everything's condensed right there. You only got to cover 10 yards. And so
tough to get into space there and find the open passing lanes, which I'm impressed by that touchdown throw. I think Barnesville was thinking QB draw and run, and it looked like he was about to scramble, but he just saw his man wide open in the middle of the end zone. Again, I don't think we've gotten the fifth answer on our trivia question.
Got a guess in here for David Brown, and he's not on the list, surprisingly. I know he's kicked a lot of field goals for us, but none over 25 yards, obviously.
Last one we're missing had a 36-yarder. The hint we gave out earlier was it was against Woodsfield, not Monroe Central, but Woodsfield.
Probably give him the year if we want. It didn't break before half with 32 seconds left to go here before half. So your next clue for the fifth longest kick in Shamrock history was 1970. This kick was performed in 1970.
See who knows their old-time kickers.
I'm sure there's someone out there that specializes in it. As Rose Burton's kick will be up and fielded, maybe. Took a weird hop. And that was number 7 for the Rocks. I do believe that's Duke or Costello. Kind of jumped up on him really quick and went over his shoulder.
And both teams having a little bit of difficulty fielding kickoffs tonight. I mean, haven't had many punts, but we've had a whole lot of kickoffs, and both teams not really fielding them cleanly in the first half.
Anytime you get a kicker and it comes off his foot weird like that, usually a kid who's not primarily a kicker, you know, and especially when you add the grass into the situation, right? You're on turf, you get a true bounce just about every time. But it's also easier to do an onside kick on turf because you can kind of control the ball more. But Monroe Central definitely taking advantage of the way Roseburton kicks. And looks like Barnesville's going to turn around and hand it off to Owen Wise. And he's got a lot of room to run. He's up around the 30-yard line. Finally going to be brought down by Roseburton and the host of Seminoles. And they'll pick up a quick chunk. Gain's about 20.
Trying to get to the line.
Clock stopped with the chains moving, and there it's running again, and Hannes will spike it because the Rocks only have one timeout. So with 11 seconds left, looks like the Rocks got about 2 plays to go to 70 yards.
And looks like I do have a correct answer there. Had Bruce Jeffers thrown out by Jeff Powell. That's incorrect. But our right answer coming from our high school secretary, Miss Nancy Miller, coming in with Dickie Johnson. In 1970, kicked a 36-yarder against Woodsfield.
Good job. 2 for 2 on trivia tonight, Brian.
Yes, well, we thank you all for playing in the first half. We'll have another one for you in the second half.
As Bliss will take a pitch, and he's only going to pick up about 3. Coach Allen with a conservative play call there of
well, they have
24 points.
They have been gashing the Seminole defense on there, and I'm honestly surprised that wasn't a double pass or designed double pass or something. I thought they'd up 24. It's a little tricky, but I thought maybe in the first half throwing a little wrinkle into it there.
4 seconds before half here. Rocks at the ball. The 32-yard line will turn around and hand it off to Wise. Who knows what could happen? He's got a little bit of room to run. He's finally going to get brought down, but not before he crosses midfield, so I guess a little stat pattern.
Yeah, that'll look good on the stat sheet, but it doesn't change much here, but that'll end the first half.
And so at halftime, Barnesville 36, Monroe Central 12. And we will turn it over to the Shamrock marching band.
Yeah, we got homecoming festivities this half, so stay tuned for that.
We'll also be streaming that as well, so stay tuned for the band and the homecoming festivities, and we'll see you in the second half.
Good evening. Tonight marks the culmination of a week-long celebration honoring 10 young ladies, one of which will be crowned the 2021 Barnesville Homecoming Queen. First off, we would like to introduce our 2020 Barnesville High School Homecoming Queen, Miss Alana Trigg. Last year, Alana was crowned in front of a very sparse crowd and is so excited to see the stadium full of spirited fans this year. Alana is the daughter of Robbie and Tanya Trigg and has two brothers, Braden and Brock. She is the granddaughter of Roger and Brenda Schnegg and Tony and Mike Kanzig. During high school, Alana was a member of numerous clubs, Girl Scouts, dance, and tumbling. In sports, Alana was a district swim qualifier, a regional and district track qualifier, a four-time All-American cheerleader, and a member of the Best in-State Champion Cheer Squad. She graduated with honors and was fourth in her class. Alana is also the 2021 Miss Columbus team. This summer, Alana represented Barnesville in the OVAC All-Star Game activities and was crowned the 2021 OVAC Queen of Queens. She is only the second person in Barnesville history to win, the first being nearly 50 years ago. Alana currently attends West Virginia University, where she is majoring in health and well-being on a pre-med track. She is also a member of the WVU dance team. Alana would like to wish this year's court the best of luck. Ladies, remember to be like a pineapple. Stand tall, wear your crown, and also be sweet on the inside. Let's go Shamrocks! Our first candidate is Miss Anna Yater. Anna is being escorted by Stephanie Yater and William Yater. Anna is the secretary of the Key Club, the treasurer of Interact, a member of the Varsity B Club, Art Club, and Prom Committee. Anna has also been in the College Credit Plus program for 2 years. She is a 3-year letterman on the basketball team, a 4-year letterman on the track team, and a 1-year member of the cross-country team. She is the Eastern District Girls Field Athlete of the Year in track. Upon graduation, she plans to attend a college of her choice, pursuing a degree in exercise science and a minor in business, and become a member of the track team. She has plans to attend a chiropractor school and someday own her own practice. Anna would like to thank her family and friends for everything they have done for her. Anna would also like to thank all of her classmates for giving her this opportunity. She would like to wish the best of luck to the 10 other queens. Go Rocks, beat the Seminoles. Our second candidate is Miss Jasmine Caldwell. Jasmine is escorted by her parents, Troy and Amy Caldwell. She is the older sister of Aiden and Callan Caldwell and the granddaughter of Terry and Emma Caldwell and Randy and Sharon Dillon. Jasmine is the president of her class and the vice president of Interact Club. Jasmine is a varsity member of the softball team, National Honor Society, Key Club, FEA, SINRAD, Prom Committee, and Varsity B. She is also a member of the First Christian Church of Barnesville. Jasmine enjoys traveling and spending time with her family and friends. She loves playing Just Dance and eating cheesecake. Jasmine will attend college to obtain a master's degree in speech-language pathology. She would like to thank all her family and friends for being so supportive and always putting a smile on her face. She would also like to thank everyone who voted for her to be on homecoming court. Go Shamrocks, beat the Seminoles. Our third candidate is Miss Kaylee Swally. Kaylee is being escorted by her parents, Jesse and Kendra Swally. She has one brother, Hayden, who is a 5th grader at Barnesville Middle School. She is the granddaughter of Jim and the late Shirley Swally, David Starr, and Karen and Carl Duvall. She is the treasurer of the senior class, the treasurer of the Key Club, and the secretary of the Interact Club, and a member of the National Honor Society. Kaylee enjoys spending time with her friends and family, her dog Everly, and her cow Esther. She plans to attend a 4-year university majoring in criminology with aspirations to become a criminal psychologist. She would like to thank her friends and family, everyone who voted her onto homecoming court, and Kanye West. Best of luck to all the other candidates. Go Shamrocks, beat the Seminoles. Our 4th candidate is Miss Emma Helmick. Emma is escorted by her parents, Jamie and Jenny Helmick. She has 3 sisters, Riley, Avery, and Katie, and a nephew, Bo. She is a member of the Key Club, Varsity B, Art Club, National Honor Society, College Credit Plus, Prom Committee, Class Officer, Letterman in both track and cross country, and Vice President of the senior class. Emma enjoys spending time with her dog, friends, and enjoys running with her cross-country team. Emma plans to attend Kent State University, majoring in business and minoring in fashion. She would like to thank her family and friends for always being there for her and being her biggest supporters throughout her life. Best of luck to all the candidates. Go Shamrocks, beat the Seminoles. Our 5th candidate is Miss Brianna Mead. Brianna is escorted by her mom, Heidi Mead, and her 2 brothers, Urian and Jackson Mead. She is the daughter of Heidi Mead and the granddaughter of Robert and Barbara Phillips. Brianna has 2 brothers, Jackson, who is a 3rd grader at Barnesville Elementary, and Urian, who is employed as a power lineman, and a bonus sister, Lexi. Brianna enjoys spending time with her friends and family and her boyfriend Kai, who attends college at Ohio University. After graduation, Bree intends on going to college to study law and criminal justice. Brianna would like to thank all her fellow classmates for this opportunity, as well as her queens, family, and Kai and his family for all their love and support. Best of luck to the other queens and to the football team. Go Shamrocks, beat the Noles. Our 6th candidate is Miss Katie Rockwell. Katie is escorted by Lori Rockwell. She is the daughter of Lori Rockwell and the granddaughter of Monty and Mary Kay Phillips. She has one older sister, Emily, who graduated from Barnesville High School in 2018, and one older brother, Brady, who graduated from Barnesville High School in 2015. Katie is a member of FFA, 4-H, Varsity B, Prom Committee, the Varsity Cheer Squad, DG Dance Workshop, and Gymnastics. Katie was also a member of the 2020-2021 Division 4 First Place Champion Squad in Ohio High School Cheerleading Coaches Association Cheerleading Bits Competition. Katie enjoys spending time with family, friends, babysitting, and time with her dogs, Finn, Maisie, Toby, and her cat Millie. Katie will be attending college to obtain a degree in veterinarian technology. She would like to thank her family for all of their love and support and the student body for voting her onto homecoming court. Katie would like to wish the best of luck to all of her other candidates. Go Shamrocks, beat the Seminoles. Our 7th candidate is Miss Kendall Lucas. is escorted by her parents, Beth and Gary Lucas. She has two sisters, Emily and Addison. She is the granddaughter of Gary and Judy Lucas and Sandy and the late Reed McFrederick. Kendall is a member of the Art, Interact, and Key Club. She is a class officer and in the National Honor Society. Kendall enjoys reading and making money and spending time with her friends. She aspires to attend Kent State and receive a degree in English and later go on to law school. She would like to give a shout out to her home pizza family and thank her family and friends for all their love and support. She wishes her fellow candidates good luck. Go Rocks! Our 8th candidate is Miss Ellie Casserow. Ellie is escorted by her parents, Travis and Marcy Casserow. She is the granddaughter of Joyce and the late Terry Casserow and Bill and Norma Duvall. She has two older sisters, Emma Casserow, who graduated from Barnesville High School in 2015, and Erin Casserow, who graduated from Barnesville High School in 2018 and is enrolled at Franklin University majoring in accounting. Ellie has been involved in many organizations throughout her high school career, including FFA, 4-H Club, Prom Committee, and Barnesville Volleyball. Ellie enjoys spending time with friends, family, her 8 dogs, and her cows. Ellie is currently enrolled in Stratford for pet grooming, and after she graduates, she is excited to open her own pet grooming business. She would like to thank her family and friends for all their love and support, and the student body for voting her onto homecoming court. Ellie would like to wish the best of luck to all the other candidates. Go Rocks! Beat the Seminoles! Our 9th candidate is Miss Olivia Fisher. Olivia is escorted by her grandfather, Dave Fisher, and mother, Elisa Stevens. Olivia is the granddaughter of Cassie and Jamie Anderson, Dave and Twyla Fisher, and Daryl and Annette Goff. Olivia has 4 siblings, Bonita, a 7th grader, Gwen, a 3rd grader, and Jensen and David, who are kindergartners. Olivia has been involved in many organizations throughout her high school career, including the Art Club, Key Club, the National Honor Society, Prom Committee, Varsity B, Class Officer, the Varsity Volleyball Team, College Credit Plus, and 4-H. Upon graduation, she plans to pursue a degree in forensic science and investigation and minor in legal studies with aspirations of becoming a forensic pathologist. Olivia plans to attend college at either Indiana University, Purdue University at Indianapolis, or West Virginia University in the fall. In her free time, she enjoys creating art and snuggling up with her dogs, Winston and Trixie. She would like to thank Mr. Johnson and her grandmother, Twyla, for being great mentors to her throughout her artistic journey. Olivia would also like to thank the rest of her family and friends for supporting her along the way as she closes this chapter of her life. Good luck to the other candidates. Go Rocks! Beat the Seminoles! Our 10th candidate is Miss Jordan Strauss. Jordan is being escorted by her parents, Jay and Heather Strauss. She is the granddaughter of the late Richard Strauss, Janie Doan, and Robert and Jackie Spiker. She has one brother, Braden, and a future sister-in-law, Kate. Jordan is a member of the Varsity B, Adopt the Shamrocks, and Drug Free Club, and past member of Art Club and Prom Committee. She is also a 3-year letterman of cross country, swim, and track. Jordan, when she is not at work or at one of her sporting events, enjoys spending time with family and friends and her 3 dogs, Cooper, Nala, and Millie. Jordan plans to attend Belmont College, majoring in nursing with aspirations to become an RN. She would like to thank her mom, Dad, Braden, and Kate for always being there and supporting her through all her accomplishments. And would like to thank everyone that voted her onto homecoming court. Jordan would like to wish all the other candidates the best of luck, and go Rocks! Ladies, you may open up your packages to see who got picked the winning rows. Our 2021 homecoming queen, Miss Ellie Castaway. Our runner-up is Miss Brianna Meade.
Welcome back to our broadcast tonight. Halftime festivities are just coming to a close. We saw Miss Ellie Castello come out with the white rose for homecoming queen and Brianna Mead as first runner-up.
How about you picking the right homecoming queen?
I can't pick much else, but I am pretty good at picking who's going to get the right rose. But
you got it spot on.
It's a pretty useless skill in the grand scheme of things, but it is something I have been pretty successful in the past picking. But see, Monroe Central going to receive this kick, and I mean, if they score here, things get a little bit interesting.
Yeah. So this is like we talked about at halftime with each other, a turning point in the game. You know, if Barnesville gets a stop and scores, the running clock's back on. But if they don't, and Monroe Central scores, only down 18, which is 3 scores, right? A little bit different of a ball game. So this drive is pretty important for both squads here.
Monroe getting that last touchdown before the half and getting the ball right back. I mean, if they're going to make a move to get back into this game, this is it.
So Barnesville kicks off. This will be number 1. That's Michael Bunning kickoff. And we got a new kicker there, Brian. And that was number 19, Ethan Lowe, the freshman.
He got a pretty good leg on that one. It was a line drive, but it went and made it to about the 10, and Monroe Central going to have a long field to go with, setting up at about their 20.
So it'll be 1st and 10 for the Seminoles here to about the 20-yard line. Rose Burton will be in the gun. Trips to the bottom of your screen. 1 receiver up top, and that'll be Knowlton by himself. And Rose Burton will take the snap. And it's going to be an all QB run. Tries to bounce it outside. He's going to get tackled by number 8, Luke Detling.
Good job by Luke Detling getting off that block and just making the stop. And that's one of the few times that we've seen Rose Burton just get stopped for virtually nothing.
I mean, they tried to set up a little QB blast play, and the Rocks were all over it, and he had no choice but to bounce it. And
yeah, late in that first half, the Noles were finding success doing kind of a version of the read option. Barnesville just focusing so much on Rose Burton that the running back, Liddick, was able to find some holes and gash the Shamrock defense a little bit.
It'll be 2nd and about 13 here as Rose Burton will be in a gun. He'll hand it off to Liddick, and he's going to get brought down by Quentin Leisure and Luke Detling. Boy, Luke Detling's having a nice night tonight for the Rocks.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't seen a lot from him on offense, but defensively he's done a really good job of keeping contained from his corner spot and getting pressure when they send him on a blitz.
We've called his name a couple times tonight, and it's nice, you know, a young kid like that. He's going to play a lot of meaningful football for you in the future. And it's nice to see him contribute when he's young. And hopefully that builds a foundation for the Rocks in the coming years.
And we've seen the Rocks dial up a few more blitzes than they typically do just because Gavin Carpenter not on the line lookout.
And there's Detling again with the pressure, but Rose Burton's going to make a couple guys miss. And then it was on 3rd down. He's going to get back to the original marker. Brought down. Looks like number 1, Tayson Starr, is slow to get up for the Rocks.
And Rose Burton just kind of had a sixth sense there coming from his blind side. Luke Detling looked like he was going to get a free shot at him, but Rose Burton just moved out of the way at the last possible second and was able to get some positive yardage there.
Number 1, Tayson Starr, the player down for the Rocks. Hopefully he's okay.
Yeah, hopefully he's okay. I tell you, if he's unable to go, that's a big loss for the Shamrock defense. He's been a starter all year at outside backer, and he's played pretty well this entire season as a sophomore, I believe.
Another kid, you know, part of that young core coming up for the Rocks, and played pretty well, you know, throughout the season, like you mentioned. And
I think he had, 2 picks against Buckeye Trail?
Yeah, and you get a kid like that, you just want them to continue to have, you know, good game after good game. Just don't focus on all the football that's ahead of you, just on the one game at a time, and hopefully he's okay, as he's kind of straining that right arm, so it looks like he might have an injury with that arm, so hopefully he's going to be okay. So this will bring up 4th and about 11 here for the Seminoles. Kind of a do-or-die situation, but you don't want to punt. Or, I mean, you don't want to have to go for it, but if you punt it back to the Rocks, it's like, You haven't stopped them tonight.
Yeah, at this
so.
36 points and a half is a lot for a high school, any football game really. But yeah, they've stopped Barnesville's offense few and far between. But this deep in your territory, I think you about have to kick this ball. But as we said earlier, with Rose Burton back there, you never know kind of if there's a wrinkle.
Trying to figure out what's going on here.
Had an inadvertent whistle there.
The Rocks have like nobody within the middle three.
They did some
that punt formation.
I didn't see what the call was there.
There they threw the flag.
Yeah, the official blew it dead, but forgot to throw his flag.
Not sure what happened, but they'll give him an extra 5, so Rose Burton will be back to punt for the Seminoles.
Well, and I tell you, with no gunners outside for the Rocks or the Noles, watch the run to the outside.
Here's Rose Burton's punt. It's a low line drive, spinning in a circular motion as Bliss will get the kick, and he's got a little bit of room up the left side of the field. Makes one man miss. Only one man to beat. Try to get a block. Number 33, Luke Taylor, does get the block. Touchdown, Spencer Bliss.
That is a big play. I don't see any flags or anything. That's just a really good job of reading his blocks. I mean, he made the first man miss, but he really didn't have to make too many more miss. I mean, the Shamrock blocking down the field was just really good at picking up all the Seminole defenders.
Nice return there by Spencer Bliss. Looks like the Rocks are trying to get a football.
And the Shamrocks having some difficulty getting the right personnel and couldn't get a ball on the field to kick.
So here the Rocks will attempt to kick here. Aiden Van Horn to hold. Gavin Carpenter to kick. Snap is good. Hold is down. Kick is up and good.
And Carpenter's really connecting with the ball pretty well on these extra points. Noticed that tonight at some point. First couple looked like they were going to get blocked, but that one would have been good from about 30, 35. He could be on the list for that trivia question if the need comes. I mean, but with that score though, that puts the Shamrocks up 31. So, I mean, should be an OHSAA rule running clock until the Noles get it within 30, if I understand that rule correctly.
Yep, and when they have that rule, the only time the clock stops is after a score or a change of possession, I do believe.
So on this kick, it should start and keep going until it gets within 30 again.
So it'll be Evan Lowe here to kick off for the Rocks again.
And I liked his first kick so far. Carpenter he's kicking extra points well, but he just wasn't getting a lot on his kickoffs.
That's a nice kick right there. I'll tell you that right now. It's going to be fielded at around the 8-yard line. Lowe has a nice kick as it's fielded by Knowlton. He's going to get hit by number 5. That's Eli Wise.
I tell you, based on it's a really small sample size, but I think the Rocks may have just found their kickoff specialist and a freshman, Evan Lowe.
That kid can kick.
Yeah, and listed on the roster is only a kicker or punter, so no other position. So I think that might be a good idea just to give Carpenter a rest for a play every now and then, because Carpenter plays both ways and on all other kicking teams. So, I mean, any chance you get to give him a little bit of a break, I think you take.
So Malachi Roseburton will take the snap. It's a direct quarterback run. Try to get to the edge, and he does. Makes one man miss. Finally brought down by Luke Taylor. But not before he picks up about 5 on the play. Now to bring up 2nd and 5.
Yeah, and the Shamrocks had good contain there just to keep him from splitting the seam or anything. I mean, he ends up getting about 4 or 5, but the Rocks just are being a little patient and not going in for the kill immediately, making sure that they have all avenues blocked off before they go in.
8:12 left to go here in the third quarter. Rocks up 43-12 over the Monroe Central Seminoles. Rose Burton will be in the gun. Tight bunch to the top of your screen. And he'll roll out that way. He's going to get around Gavin Carpenter with the pressure. He's going to look, throw, fire. Bunning with the reception. I think he's got enough for a first down.
That was a good play there. It looked like he was going to scramble again, but able to find another receiver in the middle of the field. I think looked like for the Shamrocks, number 42, Camden Carpenter was in there at linebacker. Had Bunning in man coverage, but then it looked like Rose Burton was going to take off, so Carpenter went to pursue him and just makes a good play there and moves the chains.
So Rose Burton will be in the gun, puts a man in motion, takes a snap, looks, steps up in the pocket. He's got a little bit of room. He's going to plow forward for about 5 yards before he's hit by Connor Jones.
And I mentioned Camden Carpenter, also a freshman, another freshman getting pretty significant playing time in this game.
So bring up second about 4 here for the Seminoles. 6:44 remaining in the third period. Trips will be at the bottom of your screen. Knowlton, the lone receiver, at the top of your screen. Rose Burton will put Liddick in motion. He'll take the snap, drops back, rolls out to his left slowly. A little bit of pressure. Brought down a sack.
It's one of the few times we've seen him take him down behind the line. Just caught his leg enough there. I couldn't tell exactly who it was.
Kind of ran out of room, and it was Gavin Carpenter with the sack there.
Really good pursuit there from Carpenter.
Rose Burton ran into the boundary, and it looked like he just ran out of room and didn't really have anywhere to go. Carpenter using that sideline as an extra defender. And
yeah, I mean, he's got about 80 pounds on Rose Burton, so the ability to just track him down looked pretty solid there.
Rose Burton will take the snap, and it's a direct keeper to the left, or the right side, excuse me. Waiting on his blockers. Nothing doing there as Owen Wise comes up.
That was a really good play by Wise there. I think Rose Burton thought that the Shamrocks were going to just kind of pin him into the corner and not really pursue him, but Wise just blew it up and came in and made a good hit there.
Looks like the Seminoles are going to elect a punt here after they had a couple good offensive plays there, but just couldn't. The sack by Carpenter was big right there. It took him off schedule.
Yeah, that's the one thing we've seen tonight. That's kind of a story of the game. Monroe Central hasn't been on schedule a lot of times, but Barnesville's been moving the ball pretty effectively.
Nice punt by Rose Burton. Is going to get fielded by the Seminoles, marked down at around the 37-yard line. So that's where the Rocks will take over here. Clock stopped for the change of possession. 4:57 remaining in the third. Rocks up 43-12 over the Monroe Central Seminoles. Rocks coming into this game 5-1, correct?
I believe so, yep.
No, 6-1. Yeah, 6-1.
Yes, I know they've only lost to Shady Side.
Yeah, 6-1. Monroe coming in. No, 5-1. I'm sorry, we had the canceled game. The canceled game with Meadowbrook, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yep, 5-1. Barnesville coming in 5-1. Monroe Central coming in 3-3. Barnesville looking to keep this big lead. His own Wise is going to make his way up the sideline. Makes one man miss. Didn't step out of bounds. Makes another man miss. Brought down from behind. That was number 33, Blake Genuine.
That was a
tackle.
That was a good job of really towing the sideline there.
I thought he stepped out a couple different times. He was really close.
But that official was right on it and must not have seen him go out. But, yeah, good. Another chunk play there from the Shamrock offense.
Yeah, Barnesville coming into this game 5-1. 5-1, we're in week 8 with a 1 cancellation in there. This was throwing me off as they'll turn around and hand it off to Owen Wise. Plows in. Touchdown, Owen Wise.
Yeah, I believe after this one we got Shenandoah and
Union Local.
Both away.
Battle for the milk bucket or milk jug. I'm not quite sure what the actual term is. I feel like
it's milk bucket.
I feel like there's a name. There's a name for every sport, I do believe.
Yes.
And I couldn't tell you the difference between any of them.
I'm pretty sure football is what started it all.
Yeah.
And I think that is the milk bucket. And looks like Lowe's going to get the chance to kick the extra point here.
Good for him. Snap is good. Hold is down. Kick is up. And goodbye, Amato. He about kicked that one to the hospital.
That one might be in the parking lot there. He got all of that, and that looked pretty effortless. I mean, I think the Shamrock kicking game is going to be in pretty good hands once Gavin Carpenter graduates.
Sure looks like it. Nice job by Evan Love for the Rocks. So the Rocks will be up 50-12 here. 2:55 remaining here in the third quarter. You know, Monroe was coming into this game 3-3. Had a couple big wins on the season, actually.
They had some high-scoring games, I remember.
They lost to Union Local in the opener, beat Bridgeport in the second week 42-22, lost to River, who we beat earlier in the season. They lost to River 48-26. They lost to Caldwell 73-46. How about that?
Yeah, that's the score I remember hearing.
Over 125 points scored right there. How about that? And or no, 120. I'm trying to do quick mathematics. 124, I think. Ball's still on the ground. Finally fielded by Knowlton. And so they lose that one to Caldwell, get one canceled against Buckeye Local, and then has two convincing wins back-to-back weeks against Magnolia, and then beat Shenandoah, who Barnesville has next week.
Yeah, that Shenandoah win looked pretty impressive last week. They had.
You know, you always wonder what's the story going on behind, because Shenandoah was off to a decent start at the beginning of the season, I do believe. And so when you get a smaller school, you start to think of injuries, of course. And you wonder what's going on there.
It's the same with the Union Local right now. They started off 5-0, I believe, and they've been kind of in a downward spiral the last couple weeks. But
as Rose Burton will take the snap, flip it to Liddon.
Gavin Carpenter again.
Yep.
But yeah, looking forward to that Union Local game. No matter what the team's records are, that's always a pretty tense rivalry game.
So it'll be second long here for the Seminoles. Clock continuing to run here. Down below 2 minutes remaining in the third period. Knowlton will be your lone receiver at the bottom of your screen. Trips to the top. Rose Burton will take the snap. A little shovel pass here. And he's going to pick up about 3 or 4. That looked to be Genuine, I do believe. Maybe. I couldn't tell.
Just not able to gash the Shamrocks. You got to wonder if the Shamrocks were just a little gassed at the end of that first half when Monroe Central was really moving the ball effectively. So far in this second half, we've seen a couple 3-and-outs and not a lot of yards gained from this Monroe offense, which you said the scores. They're capable of putting up a lot of points.
Rose Burton will be in the gun. He's going to take the snap, look, and they'll run a shovel again. That's the number 81. That's Michael Bunning. And he's going to plow forward, pick up about 7 or 8. And we'll see if Coach Ishii is going to decide if he's going to go for it or not here. Looks like the Seminoles are.
I think at this point you do.
Maybe not. Nope, it looks like they're going to punt.
Last couple times they punted, but it hasn't really mattered. Barnesville has had 2 quick scores off of 2 punts.
And boys, we reflect back, Brian, how huge was that Shamrock stand down at the goal line?
Yeah, that was
Central had a couple attempts and wasn't able to score.
That was early on in the game. I mean, that would have made it a 7-6 ball game, I think, at that point. And that'll take it to the end of the third quarter.
And I'm sure that's one, Malachi Roseburton would love to have back, as he had a guy open in the flats, completely changes the complexion of the game, you know what I mean? Just in terms of keeping up offensively.
Yeah, definitely. Well, not a lot of excitement going on in the second half of this game to this point, so throw out another trivia question. We got, let's do, again, we'll do the top 5. We're looking for the top 5 individual scoring seasons in Barnesville football history. We'll go to top 6 because there is one that's on there 2 times. So we're looking 5 total names, but it's the top 6 spots. And then as a bonus, I'll be impressed if you can call out the highest scoring season for each class. So like the highest scoring freshman season, highest scoring sophomore season, highest scoring junior season, highest scoring senior season. But if you want to throw that out, you can. But looking for the top 5 individual scoring seasons. If you think you have that answer, you can tweet at Strauss Films or email shamrockstrivia@gmail.com.
So yeah, looking for the players in Shamrock history that have scored the most points individually in a season. Rose Burton's kick travels across the 50. It's going to get marked down around the 42-yard line. So that's where Barnesville will set up shop here with 11:37 left to go here in the 4th. So yeah, send your trivia guesses in to either at Strauss Films on Twitter or at shamrocktrivia@gmail.com. Looking for the top 5 players in Shamrock history with the most individual scoring points in a season. Look around the valley at some of these games going on around us. There's a couple big ones tonight, Brian, so be curious to see how some of these shake out. Looks like Bel Air is losing to Shadyside 12-7. Obviously, we saw Shadyside a couple weeks ago. Yeah. Boy, they have a good squad.
And Bel Air is just coming off their first loss of the season. I think many people had that one penciled in as the game of the week for this week. The other big one, Union Local and St. Clairsville, that's a pretty big rivalry game.
42.5 last reported.
Union Local I think they're kind of battling the injury bug, but they started off the season extremely strong and looked like they were running over about everyone. And St. Clairsville dropped a game early on, but they've really good. Yeah, really good the last couple weeks.
Common opponent next week for the Rocks. Shenandoah is losing to Division 17 Waterford 14-0 at half. As the Rocks got a new quarterback in and a new tailback. That's Eli Wise, brother of Owen Wise. He's going to plow forward for about 10 yards there. New quarterback in for the Rocks is number 16, Casey Carpenter.
Second down 1 from the Monroe Central 49.
Wheeling Central beating Martins Ferry 41-6. Martins Ferry's having a down year.
A little bit of a down one, yeah. And Wheeling Central always pretty dangerous.
Looks like Camden Carpenter, the ball carrier here. He's going to pick up the first down. Finally brought down by a couple Seminoles.
Getting a couple trivia answers in here. AJ Detling coming in with Snake Steven, who is not on the list, it doesn't look like, but also coming in with the correct answer, one that I thought was going to be pretty difficult for someone to get, but coming in at number 5, John Jeep Smith in 1956 had 112 points. I thought that was going to be the last one anyone got, so congrats to him.
Here's Eli Wise running up the sideline. He's going to pick up about 14 there on the sweep. Looks like we got a penalty marker in the backfield on the play.
Well, knowing AJ Detling, he's either got to be getting fed answers by someone, or he's just a true Barnesville football historian there, because that one's going way back.
See what the penalty is. Looks to be against the Rocks, which will negate the first down picked up by Eli Wise.
We'll throw out, he did guess Snake Steven. Snake Steven does hold the highest scoring sophomore season in program history, scoring 66 points in 1992. So not on the list for all time, but does hold that distinction.
Carpenter will be under center. He'll run a play fake. Looks like it's a waggle out to the left side. Find Carpenter, the other Carpenter in the backfield. He's going to run up the sideline. Churning forward. Finally brought down by a couple Seminoles. But not before he picks up about 30. Carpenter to Carpenter there.
And they're both freshmen. I mean, that's a combo you're going to be seeing a lot in the next couple years of Shamrock football.
You know, typically we're so used to seeing a Hannes, a couple Hanneses on the roster, or a couple Burkharts on the roster, a couple Hineses on the roster, but it seems to be Carpenter's now the common name.
Yeah, I think after CJ Hannes, it's gonna. I think you got one or two more Hanneses coming along, but it's we're gonna need the next generation of them.
And here's number 13. That's Bodie Carpenter. He's gonna get around the right side, and he's gonna pick up a first down.
A lot of Carpenters on the freshman class.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, all of them getting pretty good carries, and I mean this Seminole defense, like we said, not a lot of subs on that sideline, so they have got to be gassed.
It does look like Malachi Roseburton's got his pads off. He might probably be done for the game, considering the score.
Yeah, the one thing that they definitely don't want to happen is just him getting hurt in a game like this. So you hate to see it, but there's safety.
They'll turn around and hand it off. That's to number 26 for the Rocks.
That was Jackson Wiley.
Jackson Wiley. On the handoff, he'll get stuffed at the line of scrimmage. 8:08 left to go here in the ball game.
And again, we're still looking for the top 4 scoring seasons, and then we said we'd take number 6 too. One of those names is on there twice in the top 5, so looking for 5 more names for the highest scoring in individual seasons in Shamrock history.
Carpenter will step back, looks, throws, fires! Got his man in the back of the end zone! Touchdown, Shamrock! That looks to be number 30.
Brady McIntyre.
Brady McIntyre, talented young receiver for the Rocks.
If I remember right, a couple weeks ago against Shadyside, he had that long bomb there that he caught, and he just went up and got that ball.
Yeah, a very talented young receiver for the Rocks. There's a nice pitch and catch on a fade ball to the back of the end zone, and a good job there by the youngins for the Rocks to extend the lead to 56-12 with 7:17 and counting left to go in the game here. As Lowe's kick is up and good, dead center. Have a day, kid. As Lowe has been perfect on all of his point after since the Rocks have turned to him.
Yeah, and I mean, when you got a kicker like Gavin Carpenter who's been there for a couple years, I mean, you give him the opportunities and stuff, but it's big to give a young kicker like Lowe the chances here. And I mean, honestly, he's making a pretty good statement that he might be the kicker just to give Gavin Carpenter some rest.
You know, with the way the lineup looks right now moving forward, Carpenter's going to have to play a big role here in the upcoming weeks for the Rocks. And so maybe that is something, you know, Blake Allen considers moving forward, is taking more off Carpenter's plate special teams wise and then putting more on offensively and defensively.
Yeah, like we said, Gavin Carpenter doesn't come off the field a whole lot throughout the game. So any chance you get to give him a play off or something, I think you take, especially if you have someone that's looked as good as Lowe has tonight.
And boy, he has looked good. And we'll see him kick off right here. And he's had a couple good ones thus far.
And even his shorter ones have kind of died and have been difficult to field, and it hasn't led to much of a return for the Noles.
So Evan Lowe, number 19, will be set to kick off for the Rocks, and he's got a good one. And it's going to bounce into the end zone for a touchback. Have a night, kid.
I tell you, the Noles are lucky that it did because they didn't have anyone back.
Yeah.
They had 2 deep men on each side, and they both looked at each other. They both looked at each other like the other one was going to get it, and it went right in between them. But luckily, rolls to the end zone for the Noles, and they'll set up shop after the touchback.
So Barnesville takes a timeout so they can get a new defense set up to go into the game. All younger guys here. Try to read off some of these numbers for these younger guys. Looks like we got number 74, Eric Clark. He's actually a senior. He's going to pop in here. We also got, see, number 75. That's Landon Lucas will be out there. Number 52, Marshall Mead will also be up on the defensive line.
51, 71.
71 will be Isaiah Green. 51 will be Hunter Phillips, a junior.
Then at corners, looks like McIntyre's on one side.
Looks like Van Horn at safety here. Number 24, Carson Milhone at OB on the top of your screen. As Rose Burton's actually going to stay in the game at quarterback. He's going to take the snap, looks, fires, throws. Knowlton is his intended receiver. Pass is incomplete, double covered. Clock continues to run based off that rule. 6:30 and counting.
I don't know if the Noles really have options at backup quarterback. They probably have emergency quarterbacks, but yeah, I mean, you just want to see both teams
get out of here healthy.
Come out of here healthy. No injuries to end this game.
We only had one scare tonight. That was, well, we had two. Owen Wise and Tayson Starr were down. Wise went right back into the game, which was good news. And I don't see Mr. Starr on the sideline. As Leidig will take the handoff for the Seminoles, and they'll bring up third down.
It looks like there's someone on the bench that doesn't have pads on anymore and looks like they're icing the shoulder, so I think that might be Tayson Starr, yeah. So you just hope he's all right.
Yeah, hope he's okay, can heal up. For the last two games of the season here, this will be third down, as Rose Burton will be in the gun. Jenny Wine will be the tailback. Trips to the bottom of your screen. Knowlton, a single receiver at the top. Rose Burton will take the snap, hands off to Jenny Wine. He's going to hit right at the line of scrimmage, and a big hit there. And that was number 26, Jackson Wiley there. With a nice tackle. As the Seminoles look like they're going to elect a punt here as we venture underneath 5 minutes here in the fourth quarter.
And sending back, looks like McIntyre and Castello to field the punt. Castello a starter, but doesn't get a lot of chances to field punts, so giving him some experience here.
That's nice a punt here by Rose Burton as it's going to cross midfield. It's going to get a nice Seminole roll here to about the 37, and that's where Barnesville will take over.
And seeing another one out there, looks like number 70, Blake Kirk, getting some playing time on the line. And 58, Montgomery Evans, another freshman, getting some playing time on the offensive line for this possession. And then
Gallant sends out his youngins.
Aiden King checking in, number 2, and number 10, Eli Messenger, both checking in.
So we'll see what these kids can do. It'll be 1st and 10 at the 37. 4:10 left to go here in the game. As they'll turn around and hand it off to Eli Wise. Looks explosive. What a power forward for about 5 yards. And it'll bring up 2nd and 5. That's what Barnesville's been able to do all night, is just 5 yards, 5 yards, 5 yards. Bust a big one, 10, 30 yards.
They've never really been behind schedule.
At all.
Looks like Carter Caplet checking in and Chase Riley also checking in.
Chase Riley in for the Shamrocks.
Did have a correct answer to trivia, getting the number 1 and number 2 scoring seasons in program history. Cade Bunfill. That was I think that was one that most people were going to get eventually, but
came to Carpenter on the fullback trap here, and he's going to pick up about 20 yards here. Nice little play there by the Rocks, as he added the was able to play with Campbell-Plumly-Milburn, blocked for him for those years, and we had a lot of fun there in that time under Coach Matt Johnson.
Yeah, and number 1 scoring season at 194 points in 2016, and then number 2 season at 136 points in 2015. So still looking for number 3, 4, and we said we'd take 6. So still 3 names out there. Keep those coming in for the rest of this game.
Got about 2 minutes and 40 seconds left, so we'll give you another minute here, and then we'll read them off. As the Rocks will turn around and hand it off. That's number 24, who is Carson Milhone. With a nice pickup there of about 14. As we're down to about 2:15 left to go here. You know, what a beautiful night this was, Brian. Homecoming. Couldn't ask for better weather either.
Yeah, I saw the reports that it was talking about it might rain and everything, and I know we've had a couple homecomings that have had to happen in the rain, but yeah, couldn't ask for a much better night.
Not muddy at all. Beautiful night. Gorgeous. Temperature's perfect here at Shamrock Stadium. Nice atmosphere here tonight, too. You know, maybe not the crowds that, you know, people were used to in the 90s between these two teams, but still a really nice turnout here as Carson Milhone will plow forward. Picks up a couple there.
Oh,
but Shamrock faithful did turn out tonight.
Yeah, I remember going to some of these Barnesville Monroe Central games when I was younger, and I mean, I think your dad was coaching in some of them, and Jaser Costa over on the sidelines for Monroe Central. There was some legendary battles throughout those times.
I've heard stories. Heard a lot of stories. It'll be 2nd 5 here with a minute to go. We'll go ahead and read off these names here for the top 5 individual scores in Shamrock history here. As it looks like Barnesville is going to take a knee here.
Yep, so as we said, number 1 and 2 seasons belong to Cade Bunfill. Number 3 in 2000 scoring 122 points was Justin Jeffers. Number 4 scoring 118 points in 1999 was Matt Bettinazzi. And number 6 coming in with 98 points in 2005 was Buddy Hines.
Buddy Hines. Good list right there.
That's a lot of Shamrock greats there.
As the Rocks will sit on it one more time. And that should do it here on homecoming at Shamrock Stadium. As the clock winds down, your final score is going to be 57-12 in favor of the Rocks.
Yeah, it's a big-time game from the Rocks. Executed the game plan perfectly, established the run, and I can't remember how many passes CJ Hannes threw, but it's not many. I mean, they never really had to air it out too many times.
You know, those skill guys are going to be feeling pretty good tomorrow. Didn't have to use them very much.
Anytime you can get a win like this in a rivalry game, even a win in general in a rivalry game, feels good, but I think the Shamrocks made a little bit of a statement tonight.
Yeah.
Couldn't keep the shutout streak going, but I don't think they're going to lose sleep about a 57-12 win.
No. And so up next week, Barnesville will travel to Shenandoah. And then they will also travel to Union Local on the 22nd the following week. Shenandoah 2-4, losing right now to Waterford. And then Union Local 5-1, but also losing right now. So we'll look ahead for those 2 games. And then Monroe Central up ahead, they have Frontier and Shadyside. Shadyside will be a tough one.
Yeah, and Frontier, I believe, is about 5-1 or 6-1. I think they're having a pretty good year, too. So
they're 4-1 playing Magnolia right now.
A couple tough ones, and I mean, well, I guess we haven't really said it, but this could possibly be our last broadcast of the season.
Yeah.
I mean, the Shamrocks are in good position right now to have a home playoff game, which we will be with you for if it happens, but I mean, you never know what can happen in the last couple weeks of the regular season. So.
Yeah, one thing to keep in mind is now it's not like it usually been with the OHSAA playoffs. It used to be top 8 got in. Now they've expanded it. The top 16 teams in each region get in, and so if you're in the top 8, you will get a home game.
Yeah,
which
and
is huge.
last I saw, I believe Barnesville is sitting at 6. Yeah, 6, which I think they were in position to make the playoffs even in the 18 playoff. They kind of control their own destiny.
Yeah.
But now with 16, they're just looking for a home game, too, on top of it.
Tonight definitely was another step towards their goal tonight.
Yeah, the last 3 weeks, they've looked pretty good. Again, we'd like to give a thank you to our sponsors tonight: Hissom Service Center, Campbell-Plumly-Milburn Funeral Home, Woodsfield Savings Bank, and Janice Milliken. And again, thank you to Strauss Films for bringing the live streams of all Barnesville sports and athletics and events. I mean, they were doing homecoming skits yesterday, so they're all over the place.
Important guys right here, Colton and Noah. You guys do a fantastic job, and we thank you for the opportunity. Thank you to our sponsors as well. It was a real pleasure. And hopefully, bearing a home playoff game, we get to do it again.
Yeah, hopefully in a couple weeks we'll be on there, talk to you again about football.
All right, so signing off here from Shamrock Stadium, Barnesville wins tonight 57-12 over the Monroe Central Seminoles. Signing off here in Barnesville, thank you and good night.